Joseph College of Engineering, India. Welcome to the Honorable Dr. Prabhakaran as an Assistant Professor of Master Business Administration. And for the topic today is Human Resource Management, Evolution and Recent Trend of Human Resource in the Contemporary Business Arena. And for today's session is being live streamed on the Universitas STEKOM YouTube channel. And now I will read our agenda this afternoon. First, we will start class presentation delivered by Dr. Prabhakaran and continue with the Q&A session. In the next session, we have time for documentation and last time is closing. Okay, let's begin. We will start class presentation delivered by Dr. Prabhakaran. The time is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. So, welcome you all. Let me begin my lecture by putting forth my humble welcomeness to everyone. Namaste, Namaskaram, and Vanakkam to everyone. So, this is Dr. Prabhakar, and today what we will be seeing is we will be seeing about the concept of HRM and over the years how HRM concept have evolved over the past years and as of now in today's business world how it is, and we will also dive deep into how it will, it might, so all the predictions and how it will be in the near upcoming future. So for the next 1 hour or so, 1.5 hours or so, kindly bear with me and please feel free to shoot out your question to me. I will be very much happy to answer all your queries and doubts. Okay. So without wasting much of time, let us deep dive into the topic. And please let me know if my screen is visible to everyone. Is my screen visible to everyone?
Yes, sure.
Okay, okay, okay. Okay, so in today's lecture, what we'll be discussing is we'll be discussing about background of the entire concept of human resource management, and we will I will take you through the history of the concept human resource management, how it has evolved, and what is it happening as of now in the current world, and what is it for the upcoming future. So this is what we'll be discussing in today's class. So before entering into this, I have a small video which I have prepared for you for this presentation. Uh, I will just check whether I can present it for you. Okay, are you able to see the video screen? Okay, so this is just a Kickstarter for today's session. Right. Let us dive into the topic human resource management. When we talk about the concept of human resource, the character or the essence is all about the human beings. Okay. Now, when we talk about human beings, over the years, through the evolution of mankind, we have crossed so many stages, and out of which we are sitting here in front of a system and connecting across thousands of kilometers. Just like this, just like evolution of mankind, or just like evolution of human beings, the concept of human resource management has evolved over the years. Now, When we talk about evolution, we can broadly classify into two categories. Two categories. Just a minute. Is my screen visible? Sorry, once again. Yeah. So when we talk about the evolution of human resource management, it is broadly classified into prehistory, that is like the before 1800s and post 1800s. Now, in order to understand how it has evolved over a period of time, okay, so we will walk through the path of history and understand the concept in a better way. Now, when we talk about history of human resource management, this concept is not like 1,000 years old, 2,000 years old concept. I would like to say it is much more than that. It's large. When we talk about the human resource management, it's all about making use of the available best resources, and the rule of thumb in human resource management is placing the right person for the right job at the right time. Okay, now just imagine the nomadic period about some 10,000 years before or 20,000 years before. Human beings, we moved around in a nomadic way as a group. Okay, as a group. Now, for the survival purpose, for the survival purpose, we among ourselves divided the work which is best suitable for a particular member in that group, so that works can be carried out in an effective way, as well as the key point during that point of time is survival and feeding every mouth in the group. Just like that, come to the present world, you can find there are when you talk about any organization, you might find different types of works. It's not like the one size will fit for everyone. You need to identify that individual's skill set, and you need to map that skill set with the available job, just like what we have done 20,000 years before or 30,000 years before or even more than that. Identify skills, then placing them at the right time for the right job. So this is how they evolve. Now, when we talk about the wonders of the world, okay, wonders of the world. Today we have so many equipments and so many machineries involved, and we have all sorts of high tech infrastructure items where you can build any sort of building of your own imagination with time, money, and resource available. You can build any sort of building. But you talk about 1,000 years before. How was it possible? I have just, I would like to share two pictures with you so that you will get to know what I'm trying to say. Are you able to see the screen? Can anyone post it in chat box so that I will get to know whether the audience are able to see it and get to know what I'm trying to say? Okay. So In this picture, what I have presented, now you can find a king under his supervision. People are working in building a particular monument, and without any concept of human resource management, people were being utilized. Okay, people were being utilized, and they were made the most out of it with the available resources. Now, when we talk about the period of 1800 or even before that, there was no concept of human resource management that was in practice. Especially, it was not in practice, but still, whatever they knew, whatever they had, with that they were able to, make use of it, and they were able to get the works done from the available resources. Here, the available resources, what I'm trying to refer is the people. And then, okay, during this pre-industrial era, okay, I mean to say before 1800s, as I said, there was no any formal form of human resource management, and there was no proper work structure. There was no proper employment practice. Now, talk about uh, talk about the period where you don't have any loss. Today, we are talking about people getting exploited in the workplace, too much of work, and if people are going to stretch their work, they are supposed to be paid with overtime, things like that. Now you talk about 1800s, okay, 1800s, where you do not have any formal laws that are insisting people insisting people to follow those rules and regulations. Now what might happen is, yes, you can extract work from them. And how was this possible? Okay, during this period of 1800s or before that, no, the invention of machineries or locomotives or things like that were not been invented or innovated. Now, what happened is people were basically into agriculture based, or their thought process or their livelihood was majorly dependent on agriculture and animal husbandry. Now, what happened is these two, especially agriculture, where employment for entire group of people, they were dependent on agriculture. And today, when we talk about agriculture, that happens 365 days round the clock and throughout the globe. But you talk about 1800s, the agriculture was happening, but it was dependent on monsoon, and monsoon was not happening throughout the year. It was like a seasonal employment. Okay, so what about the rest of the years? What about the rest of the months when they don't have employment? People were majority, they were unemployed. Okay, they were dependent on secondary source of income. So when they found, yes, there is an opportunity in these manufacturing units or any manufacturing or any other sector, okay, they found that this is the best opportunity to them, because agriculture was not providing food for them throughout the year, and this was providing food for them throughout the year. Okay. Now, you need to refer the concept of demand and supply. Okay. So, when demand is huge, okay, when supply is less, you know what will happen. And vice versa in this case. Okay. In this HRM case, it is the vice versa. the supply of human resources were huge, but when we talk about the employment opportunity for them, for those people, was very minimal. So what happens? No, what happened during that time is exploitation. I would like to share a picture with you so that you will be able to travel with me what I'm trying to say in this presentation. Uh, I'm finding certain technical glitches so that I'm not able to do it simultaneously. Kindly bear with me. Are you able to see the screen? Yes, this is
Yes.
no, like thanks to technology, uh, I have made use of ChatGPT where I got the no, I have put forth my requirement. So how it was, no, how it was, because you don't have any authenticated proof about the start of industrial revolution, how manufacturing units were there, how people were employed. So this is like I gave my input to the AI, and in return I got this image. So this is how it was. Okay, this is how it might. All these are assumptions. Okay, and taking things into consideration, and with the relevance of demand and supply, again, demand and supply, we will try to refer that when you have when you have when you have too much of supply, what happens is the exploitation among the available resources happen. Number one, they were paid very minimal, because if one is not agreeing to that minimal payment, they will have an alternative for them. So payment, they had exploitation. If with regards to payment, they were exploited, and also physically, verbally, all sorts of exploitation happened during the start of industrial revolution. Why? Because there was no any formal setup, or there was no any enforcement of laws. See, since I come from Indian subcontinent, especially to be very precise, in India, okay, so we were under the colonial rule of British, okay, and when you see the history books, how we were treated during that period of time is, let me put forth a hypothetical situation for your reference, so that you will get to know how people were exploited during the time. Take into consideration, to be very precise, a mechanic or some sort of a welder or fitter. These are the job titles which are available in a manufacturing unit. And for this position, you find an Indian person who has been employed there or who is working there. And for the same position, a British based person or a Britain person or a white person, to be very precise, he or she is being employed there. Now, when we talk about the payment, the work what they carry out might differ. Probably, when we talk about the Britain person, they have their own laws or they have their own of work setup. When we talk about the Indians, I will leave it to you. I will leave the floor open. No, since there was no ears to hear what they are going in that workplace. No, they were exploited literally, and dual wage system was implemented. No, for Britain, a British person, same sort of work, their payment will be different, and for the Indian, was who is working there for the same sort of job, he will be paid something different. Okay, so this is a classic example of people were exploited, and also when we talk about the industrial revolution, all these industrial revolutions were brought in by the government which were controlling that uh, colony system, or who were in charge of I could not say the word slavery, but colonial region. Okay, colonial region. So thanks to it's a blessing in disguise. Though we have gone through so much of difficulty during that period of time, but we had the science, we had this concept of industrial revolution happening in our motherland. So, what happened? Slowly but steadily, we were moving towards progression. And if you turn back the history books, and if you could see, we fought through so many things. And since it's an international forum, I don't want to take India as a reference. So in in the subcontinent of Indonesia, you might have your own no history. You can refer that probably no, to some extent. You can infer from the words what I have referred with reference to India. So factory system emerged. Okay, when the industries industrial setup started. Okay, so this was like post 1800s or late 1700s to early 1900s. The factory system they started in the colonial places where shift bases were introduced. Again, the purpose of shift basis is not to again it's not to they did not keep the human factor in mind while they implemented it. See, all these machines during the start of industrial revolution were running on coal. Okay, coal, fire, things like that. So in order to reduce wear and tear of machines, they introduced the concept of shift. Okay, and uh, no, out of which people were juggled around, or they were moved around based on shift basis. And as I said, again, point number two, labor exploitation. And then came the concept of personal management. Okay, again, the main focus is to hire and the wage payment and record keeping. See, these three were dominant work of personal management. Today we are talking about employees' wellness, their happiness at workplace, their welfare, things like that. Now if you could see my screen, okay, there is no such thing. Personal management, no, their predominant work is just to hire people and to provide wage and to keep a record how much they have paid for which type of labors and what is the payment. And then officers were appointed to look after workers' well-being. See, yes, this was introduced, but the functioning of welfare officers was not up to the mark. See, when we have rules, when we have laws, when we have regulations, yes, you have a hold over the activity, or you have a hold about what's happening in that workplace. When you don't have any law enforcement, how many numbers of welfare officers you bring in, you implement it, but things will not work. So, though industrial revolution was a bright start for upcoming future, but the reality was in a dark way. Okay, then next, slowly from industrial revolution, the next phase is like scientific management. Again, again, the industrial revolution, it focused on the focus was on hiring, wage payment, record keeping. When we talk about the essence of scientific management, the concept of the human beings, was kept aside. Okay, it emphasized or it focused on employees' productivity, their efficiency, and standardizing the work. Thanks to the introduction of scientific management given by F.W. Taylor or Frederick W. Taylor, no, he has introduced this topic, keeping in mind, keeping in mind how best you can utilize the available human resources to enhance their productivity, their efficiency, and what sort of job they are doing. Setting up some sort of benchmark by standardizing the work what they carry out in the workplace. And during this period of I think, Frederick Taylor or F.W. Taylor, the time and motion study was introduced. Again, if you see the essence of this purpose of this study is to improve the labor output. Nowhere it has emphasized on improving the standards of their work life, or it never emphasized on the welfare part. All this, no, the current slide and the previous slide, it was focused on only one thing, that is to maximize the productivity through the workers. Okay, so that the employers, the organization can, make the most out of the available resources. And the third point under this scientific management is the personal departments form, and again handling hiring process, payroll, and the compliance with the labor law. Slowly, slowly, at the end of scientific or at the end of 1930s, okay, thanks to all sorts of revolution that was happening throughout the globe. Okay, so your communism concept was happening, or it was like a wildfire which was catching up throughout the globe, and the essence of those communism was happening in even in the Indian subcontinent, especially in India, and out of which during this period, two major communism, or the essence of communism was brought from USSR, that is Russia, to India and throughout the globe. Okay, all your Karl Marx influence and his preaching and his communism theories were taken into account throughout the globe, and it was a guiding light. I would say it was a guiding light for for the employees to get to know what they are eligible for in the workplace, and that that has brought in the knowledge of F.W. Taylor, where he has incorporated at the later part of his scientific management era, he has incorporated compliance with the labor law. Okay, so this was like a slow progression when we talk about how human resources evolve over a period of time. And next concept is human relations movement. Okay, so in this concept, um, a well-known management person come psychologist Elton Mayo, along with a few members of his subordinates, and the place in which he carried out his hackathon experiment. So he has brought in this concept of human relations movement. So here, here slowly you can see from just insisting on human resource productivity, the factor of human, the essence, the ultimate essence for any human being to enhance his productivity is you need to tap that essence of human. So if you are able to touch that factor of human, they will give the best in the workplace. So this is what Elton Mayo have tried to prove through his experiments, and where he has shown the importance of human factors like motivation, morale, so that if you are able to touch upon these two factors, human factors, that naturally impact on higher productivity for the employees who have been employed in that workplace. The focus shifted to employee satisfaction. Yes. See, when we talk about the motivation factor, you cannot talk about motivation factor without touching upon the following elements like employee satisfaction, communication, leadership, group dynamics. These are the integral part. Take into, let me give an hypothetical situation. You'll get to know what I'm trying to say. Take into consideration you have a toxic leader in your workplace, and consider yourself as a subordinate to a toxic leader. Will you be satisfied in the workplace? Will you be motivated? Will your internal morale be uplifted in the workplace? No. So if you are not motivated, if your morale is not uplifted, obviously your productivity in the workplace will have a huge dent. Okay, and then HR as a distinct function. See, previous slides, previous slides from where we started. No, like the HR or human resources were considered as yet another resource, just like your machines, just like your raw materials. These are the resources for a manufacturing unit. Just like that, human resources were considered as yet another resource, and things were taken for granted. Now, during this period of human relations movement, HR was identified, recognized as a distinct function. Okay, or the importance were thrown upon the HR factor, and if you are able to manage, or if you are able to manage your human resources effectively, you will be able to enhance your productivity in the workplace. This is what your human relations movement emphasized. Then from there, slowly there was a shift happening, and this was during 1950s to 1970s, the industrial relations era. Now, during the period, during this period, the the uh, the concept of labor unions, trade unions, okay, it was happening at a greater pace, and all the employees were, like, attracted towards this, or they were interested in registering themselves or enrolling themselves with this trade unions or labor unions. Why? Because there is a rule of thumb, proverb: united we stand, divided we fall, isn't it? Okay. See, if there is any grievances, okay, if there is any grievances in the workplace, and consider that I am a worker who was working during the period 1950s to 1970s, and I had a grievance in the workplace, and now I'm going to bring that to my employers or my managers or my supervisors knowledge. Okay. So the grievances, like, my works are being stretched in the workplace and I'm not paid accordingly. Okay. So if a single person, as a individual, if I'm going to raise my grievances in the workplace, the ears of employer will not listen to me. What if I have enrolled myself with trade unions, labor unions, okay, and I am going to bring my grievances to the labor unions notice? And what if all of the sudden, okay, today we have so many rules with, regarding to trade union setup and how it has to function. We talk about 1950s, just like the meme. There might be others who have been exploited in the workplace, and now all the person who are having grievances have put forth this to the labor union. Now, labor union, what they are about to do is they have called for immediate strike or bandh. We say those words in India. So it's a strike. It's a way of protesting their discontent in the workplace with relevance to employers' activities in the workplace. So what happens is the employer is forced to listen. Why? Because if trade unions or the labor unions are going to go for bandh or strike, whatever, their productivity will get, it will get affected, and the productivity might go down, and in return it will impact on their profitability. So it's like a chain effect, or it's like a butterfly effect. So collective bargaining, the concept of collective bargaining was happening at a greater pace during this period. Then there was a shift on seeing or managing the available resources, the focus of how to manage people in the workplace. The dimension of seeing human resources have totally changed. Here, the focus was not on individuals, but how to handle or manage the labor relations that was happening in that workplace, or the labor union, how to handle the labor union and whatever grievances the labor union is going to put forth to the employer, how to handle those grievances, and how to go about the negotiations. Okay, negotiation handling. So that was emphasized on during this period, and the complaints with the labor law. See, today what we see in the business world is the, like, evolved product, or you can say it is still an evolving product of what it has gone through over the past years. So what we see right now have gone through so much of changes. Okay. Now, in the previous slide also, from F.W. Taylor's period, you would have seen the labor loss concept. slowly but steadily there was like betterment with relevance to how people were treated in the workplace. And during this period, the enforcement of labor law throughout the globe, let us talk in general, not to be very precise to a particular subcontinent. Throughout the globe, some or other way, no, the labor laws were implemented. Okay, so slowly but steadily, there was like changes happening in those labor laws, and then from there, the concept of strategic human resource era began from 1980s to 1990s. Again, now all the HR domain fraternities and the employers, no, they had a clear idea. See, you need to incorporate, you need to bring the element of human resources, and you need to align them with business goals. If not, if not, they will not know what's the purpose for them to insist such targets, such sort of work to them. See, take into consideration. In order to understand this, let me give you a layman's example so that you will get to know what I'm trying to say. See, there is a small child who is like 10, 12 years old, and there is a candle with the fire, like it's burning fire. Now, to take into consideration, see, the small child, 10, 12 years old, is playing around that fire. Now, what if you are going to say orally, okay, orally, look, please do not run around or play around the fire. You might get burnt or you might hurt yourself. See, unless until the child knows that or no, it learns a lesson through its own experience, it will not know the seriousness of your words. Okay, just like that, just like that. The human resources, always human beings have a tendency when you implement certain things in the workplace. The first and foremost thing is resistance. Okay, resistance is the first thing any human beings might exhibit when anyone is trying to bring in change. So when the strategic HRM era started, okay, instead of just administrating the available human resources, how about bringing them in line with the goals of the organization? Okay. Now during this period, the concept of piece rate system was like huge success, especially textile industry, textile industry and manufacturing industries. They made the most out of this. Let me give you an example how this works. See, take into consideration a garment manufacturer. To be very precise, they produce the tees, the shirts, the t-shirts, what we wear, the shirts, what we wear. Now, you as an employer, from that stance, let us see how this works. You can maximize your profitability when you produce more goods. Okay, this is from employer's stand. From the employee's stand or from the worker's stand, they can get more wages or payment when they produce more. So now you are going to incorporate these two goals together. Your goal from a manufacturer point of view to produce more. Your goal from a worker's point of view is to earn more. So you are going to align these two goals together, and that is what your strategic HRM has enforced during this period. So HR is aligned with business goals. Then focus on talent management. Yes, the focus was shifted from just recruiting people, hiring them, paying them, etc. etc. Now you are going to recruit people, the right people, skilled people for that job position or title, whatever is available. And the concept of performance appraisal was introduced during this period so that they will get to know what is their actuals, what is their actual productivity, where they have to improve to meet these standards, so that in the upcoming financial year or so, they will be able to earn more. So, if you're just going to say where they actually stand and what are the ways, okay, what are the ways they need to develop, that is not going to happen just by saying. So, from a manufacturer, from the employer stance, what you need to do is you need to provide training and developmental activities for the human resource community, the workers community in the workplace, so that they can perform more, and those performance are aligned with business goals. Again, the third most important part during this period is HR metrics. HR metrics were introduced. See, in order, and these metrics were introduced for better decision making. In order to understand this, let me give you an example. Okay, let me give you an example. Take into consideration there is a manufacturing unit, about 5,000 workers working under one roof, and you find some 50 odd workers are not performing up to the expectation after repeatedly saying or putting forth about their performance, and after repeatedly providing training and developmental program. See, what if the organization, the manufacturer, is forced to take a decision by letting them go, no, letting them go from the workplace, or to use that harsh word, to terminate them from the workplace. No, prior to this introduction of labor unions, trade unions, etc., if firing is going to happen, no one is going to raise their voice. But after or after the introduction of labor unions or trade unions, whatever, if termination is going to happen, that might cause a huge confusion or disturbance in the working place. So you must have certain metrics that supports your decision. Take into consideration one metrics for consideration is the appraisal report. Okay, so I'm just saying one metrics here, appraisal. So if no, like as per the company's policies, procedures, they might have their own procedure, like after repeated number of warning, like if they are not able to cope up, if they are not able to produce the expected output, they are pushed to let them go in the workplace. If this is not going to be implemented, unwanted disturbance might happen. And now we will talk about what's happening right now. Okay, right now, see, uh, We have seen over the past years, COVID. I would like to say, though we lost many valuable life during this period, we lost many near and dear ones during this period. But from a management point of view, okay, from management perspective, this COVID has given us a different dimension about how to go about in the workplace, and out of which we were able to come out with the new concept, hybrid or remote workplace models. So through this, we are able to be flexible with the work arrangements, and I should not use this word, but still, this is all because of the COVID, which was happening in the workplace, or which was happening throughout the globe, out of which the manufacturers, the employees were able to adopt accordingly. And we today, in today's world, we are talking about employees' experience. The EX concept is the most happening today. People are not focusing too much on the appraisals or pay check what they receive. Yes, if you are a person with the right skills, and if you are able to connect with the right network of people, that will be automatically taken care of. But people are more focused on employees' experience in the workplace. So there's a huge shift from the traditional HR what we have seen for the past half an hour or 1 hour or so. You can see there is a change that's been happening over the years, and this is where your HR is focusing as of now. And if when we talk about the focus, the majority, or no, now we are talking about getting back to workplace. That's what happening right now. But when we talk about, you cannot generalize this concept to everyone, but still, the tech giants, the service sector giants, still their HR focus is managing the virtual teams, and the digital collaboration tools, and how they are going to engage with their remote onboardings, because the company might have their head office somewhere else, and their presence might be throughout the globe. So for tech giants, for service sector giants, this might be no, this might be more engaging, but not for. I cannot generalize this concept to all the organizations, because there are other organizations which have started to insist work from office concept. Okay, so now what's happening is the emphasis is basically on people's well-being, the employees' well-being, how they are engaged. Okay, how they are engaged, and personalized career growth. See, when the emphasis is on all these three aspects, obviously it will enhance the employee's experience in the workplace. Okay, and then digital transformation. See, think about 10 years back, 15 years back. See, all your payrolls, okay, all your payrolls, your leave records, or no, your attendance sheets, your appraisals, infos, your targets, your actuals, all those infos are like maintained in a traditional way by bookkeeping method. But today we're talking about HR information systems. When we talk about recruiting people, we talk about using ATS. When we talk about uh, integrating the recruited people with in the organization we have separate platforms for them. All this cloud-based platforms and this mobile HR apps are implemented or introduced by the by the employers to enhance the employees' experience in the workplace. And in today's world, the human resource department or human resource management is mainly focusing on people analytics and HR analytics, where instead of theoretically putting forth the concept, everything and anything is carried out evidence based, data driven. Okay, today's world is data driven, and even your HR is driven with the data. And so we are making use of predictive analytics, and there are platforms. Let me give you an example for that. A well-renowned company, I believe everyone knows it, Zoho, Zoho, Zoho. Zoho post this class. You can just Google it and you can see it. What I'm trying to say. So this company is a SaaS company, and they have their own HR product. So they have their own ATS, and they have their own a platform where you can carry out your HR analytics. That's known as Zoho People and Zoho Recruit. These are the two ATS. One is ATS, another one is the platform what they use. So in this Zoho People, there is an inbuilt AI where predictive analytics can be carried out. See, when we talk about employees turnover, when we talk about their performance, okay, see these things take into consideration. Let me give you an hypothetical situation for you to understand. Consider you are a manager who is managing a team of 50 members. Okay, 50 members. And all of the sudden, 10%, about 5 members have put down their papers or resigned from the work. Okay. Now, if it is a traditional type of HR activity, what you can do is, no, once they have put down their papers, no, you're looking for the recruitment, you're looking for filling up the gap. What no, a gap of 5 members, no, almost 10% have left. So you will be looking for replacement. See now, thanks to the AI concept and predictive analytics, through the behaviors, okay, through the behaviors, through their performance, okay, you can easily predict whether they are going to stick on to your workplace or not. See, let me give you an example to understand this. When we talk about employees turnover, one factor is absenteeism, coming late to the organization, their performance going down. See, all these things are associated with the employees turnover, but these are theoretical. See, what if you are going to have data? Okay, when a person is repeatedly coming late to the organization, often their productivity goes down. Okay, so you can easily predict that yes, there is a high chance of this person to move out, or he himself might put down the papers. So out of which you can start your groundworks, and you can have the pipeline of the replacement resources. And in the recent trends in HRM, it focuses on continuous learning and upskilling. So there are a lot of LMS which is available in online platform. So since we started talking about Zoho, they do have their own AI LMS where people who have or the organization who have taken their product and implemented in their workplace, they can customize the learning materials according to the needs of that organization. Okay, this can be incorporated with that software what they offer, and there's a new concept, or that's the most happening concept: diversity, equity, and inclusion. Okay, so certain companies or throughout the globe, this is happening in most of the companies. I would rather say throughout the globe, this is happening in a greater pace compared to the previous years. Inclusion, equity in the workplace, no, breaking the borders, inclusive of different diversity of people. So that is what today's HRM is focusing, and it is moving in that direction. And yes, gig economy. So this is like the most happening thing in today's world. So gig workers, how to know, like how to handle them, how to increase the freelance, because see, take into consideration yours is a manufacturing unit, and you are an employer or a HR in the workplace, and it's a manufacturing unit, and you have big machines working in that workplace, and once in a while the machines might go for wear and tear, out of which it might get corrupted. See, what if you are going to have a specialized mechanic for this work, and you have employed them in the workplace? See, you need to provide them salary or wages throughout the year. This is going to add cost to the company. See, what if you are going to incorporate gig workers? Whenever required, you are going to bring in expertise person only for the service what they do. You are going to pay them. So the company might come down on cost. Okay, so this is what today's organization are looking for, and the today's HR practice is focused on that. So HR adopts policies that are associated with non-traditional workers. And finally, or I would rather say, this is like one of the most important topic when we talk about the recent trends in HRM. So, in today's world, human beings, the human resources, employees or workers who are working in that workplace are not just considered as employees. They are considered as intellectual resources to the organization. Okay, so their well-being, their mental health has to be taken care. Okay, their well-being, their mental health has to be taken care, and this has to be looked upon. So the focus, the shift is slowly moving from productivity to mental health and their well-being. And another concept which today's HRM is focused on, employer branding and social responsibility. So all your CSR activities, so corporate social responsibilities, are tagged under the brand of companies giving back to the society, and the employees are tagged as a brand ambassador for that company. So this is how the current HRM practices are happening in the workplace. So with that, we are done with the current practices. So what is the future is up to? Okay, future is up to. So when we talk about the key directions, what the HR might do, or HRM might evolve in the upcoming years to come. Okay, the first thing what we say is AI, artificial intelligence. See again, when you see this slide, you might have a question, sir. AI is happening right now. So what is future? See, yes, I agree upon. Yeah, artificial intelligence is happening right now. Now, synchronization of human experience with the artificial intelligence, the amalgamation of these two concepts is going to be the future, and through which smart tools that can be utilized for decision making, prediction, and personalized learning can be implemented in the workplace. And by doing so, by implementing all this AI integrated things, you can bring in HR as a strategic business partner. Okay, HR as a strategic business partner, where HR as a department can become a central player in transforming the entire organization to the next level. How they can do is by integrating AI, by bringing in new innovation, by having agility in the workplace, by evolving to the market situation. This can be possible. And next, how see, I will not say this is what the future is, because no one cannot predict what is the future is having to us. This might, okay. So all the above 2 points and the upcoming points, this might be the future. I would say this might be the future. This is, I cannot say, or I cannot tag that as this is the future. So sustainability, green environment, and bringing in the concept of no, virtual reality, artificial reality in the workplace, or bringing in the simulation type of activities during their training, and any other engagement activities, bringing in these concepts. Okay, and having said that, future might offer us many things. No? Total talent management. So you are going to integrate the entire group of people, like the existing permanent employees, the gig workers, the freelancers, under one platform. Okay, and since today's world, today's economy is so much open to everyone, so global talent might might flow from different corners of the world. So managing global talent mobility might be the key direction or key focus on near future. So with this note, so let me complete today's session. So thank you all. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer if I can.
Thank you so much for your presentation. And for our participant, if you have any question for the speaker, please add them to the chat or you can raise your hand. Yeah, we have some questions here from participant already read in the Zoom chat.
How has the role of HR shifted from administrative strategy? What are the challenges? Okay, uh, I'm about to answer to Mr. Abdul. See, when you talk about administrative support, okay, administrative support, we are the focus is main on employees' productivity, okay, irrespective about what is the goal assigned to them. See, for example, take into consideration to understand this better. Let me give you an example. Take into consideration you are a worker who is going to work for a manufacturing unit, okay, and for a given day, you are supposed to produce 100 goods. Now, administrative support. Here, the focus is just to ensure Abdul on a given day has he produced 100 goods. Okay, and for for producing 100 goods, what are the things he requires? For example, gloves, no, the overcoat, tools required, etc. Now, when we talk about strategic business partner, now understanding the business comes in. See, for example, on a given season, on a particular year, during a particular period of year, the demand for your product might go up. Okay, so the same Abdul, if he is assigned with strategic business role, even without insisting Abdul to produce more goods, he will understand the business. Yes, this is the period where I need to elevate my performance. Okay, even without anyone insisting Abdul to produce more, he knows the business. So that is the reason why we are trying to incorporate the business goals with employees. Okay, I believe I have answered to Abdul. Okay, so let me take up another question. Paul Nia has posted this question to me. To what extent should HR department leverage data analytics in decision making without compromising employees' privacy and ethics? Yes. Okay. See, uh, I was quoting an example of a company named Zoho, right? So it has a platform where if you have any queries or if you have any grievances in the workplace, you can post that without mentioning your name. And and when the HR who opens those grievances will not get to know who has posted, from where it has come, from which laptop or which IP these informations have come from. Those things will not be known, but still your voices can be heard. So your privacy is maintained. Okay, and the ethical part. See, ethical part is like two-way. One is from the manufacturer. Sorry, from one is from the employer, that is from the HR department, and from the employees too. So ethics, yes, uh, can be maintained to a greater extent. I will not say completely it can be maintained, but to a greater extent it can be maintained. Okay, and so if people are facing any grievances or any hindrances in the workplace, decisions can be made. Okay, and their privacy can be ensured, and ethics can be maintained to a greater extent. So yes, so there is a last question that's been posted. Let me also answer to that. How do flexible work models, okay, challenge traditional HR practices in HR practices in performance? Okay, right. So this question is from Kinan. How do flexible work model challenge or change whatever? See, again, um, the concepts what we see under the hybrid or the new age concept, it's not like the one size will not fit for all. Let me also say this: it is not like one size will fit for all. It depends on what sort of organization it is. Okay, it depends on what sort of organization it is. And yes, just when we talk about the service sector,
Hmm?
okay, to be very precise, the IT and the ITES sector, it has totally or it has dramatically changed the way in which they were functioning. Okay, previously, even the techs, the person who is working in that software company or ITES companies, BPOs, KPOs, whatever you name it, they are or they were supposed to come to the workplace and deliver their deliverables. But thanks to hybrid and remote setup, things are totally taken into a different shape, and this is how it is happening. And you cannot generalize by saying that this is applicable to all. Okay, so that is the thing, and it has changed to a greater extent. I can say it has changed to a greater extent, but still, your traditional setup still remains. When we talk about any sort of geographic location countries, still there are traditional setup. You cannot change dramatically or drastically. It might take time.
Yeah, okay, thank you for answering. I guess no one else asking again, sure. Yeah, before I participant, for our participant, please open your camera. I will take a picture on the count of three. Okay, one, two, three. Okay, another one, one, two, three. Thank you for your kind cooperation. Finally, we come to the end of visiting lecture today. We would like to thank you for Dr. Prabhakaran for the wonderful information and sharing your knowledge. We hope this information will be beneficial for all participants. At least we welcome our collaboration in the future with ST Joseph College Engineering India. The visiting lecture for today and here. We hope to see you soon. Thank you and have a nice day. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you and bye bye.